I was a PhD from a government university, and one day the vice chancellor of that university came to my office. So, another vice chancellor meeting, another vice chancellor, we had exchanged pleasantries. And what he told me? He said, "Professor, tell me what to do, how to check this non-attending B.Ed programs going on." The vice chancellor was affiliating the college telling me this. I said, "Sir, you are the vice chancellor of the university which is affiliating these colleges. De-affiliate them. De-affiliate them. Take harsh steps, but they can't. So, once you can't change things which are beyond your control, change things which are within your control. That's the only way. I'm not sounding desperate or helpless, but there are ways."
Before I make the... Hello. Before I raise my question, I just want to ask if there is anyone who is not directly involved to education in this room. Well, that's actually the point.
Yeah.
We are inside the box still. This whole room is still inside the box. We don't have a farmer here. We don't have a person who sells fish in the real life. We are talking about fish. We don't have a musician here, as you said rightly, applying symphony into physics. How is that being possible? Maybe it is possible. Who knows? Unless we ask a musician, have you ever applied physics into music? We will never know. We are still a lot of educationists, a lot of teachers, a lot of principals sitting in one single room and discussing about education. And what is education all about? It's for living. It's for the life. And how is it being applied to life? How is Pythagoras' theorem is being implemented or utilized in the real life scenario? Sorry, I probably am the only person in this room who is not directly involved to education. This is the first time I thought about education is when I employed an engineer into my organization. I chose a teacher, not an engineer. I chose an engineering teacher as an electrical engineer to my organization, expecting that she's the teacher, which means she's the best of all the students. Unfortunately, she couldn't even identify how many number of electrical points is possible in one circuit on a wall. Well, as a literature student, I said it's only 4. But she said, I don't know. Well, so what is the point of having engineering education and if she's not able to implement it into the real life scenario? But the same is the case of everything else. That's one point. Implementing the education in the real is more important because you take students to a taluk office or a village office rather than explaining 5 different sessions about the economics and all the stories. They will understand what is village office and what is happening there in one single day, seeing the people over there. Same is the case of everything. If I'm into the venture, in fact, Shruti is helping me to set up a school in South Kerala. Well, my intention is that the curriculum should have at least certain sessions to take them out of school, out of the boundary entirely, take them to the police station, take them to the banks, take them to the taluk office, wherever the real life is happening, not a single box. What is box? We all sit together and speak about a lot of things about education. But what's the point? Second thing, sir, as Washish has said about the various grants and things available. The schools, as you rightly said, the government schools are not up to the mark compared to all the best schools in India, I believe, are the private schools. Correct me if I'm wrong. Well, if you look into the higher education, all the government education institutions are the best compared to the privates.
They may not be the best, they're the cheapest.
Well, probably.
More expensive.
Yeah. So what happens here is, all the wealthy, or I would say those people who are capable to get educated in the private schools, naturally get promoted to the best institutions because they got the best training in the beginning stage. What happens in the other way around? A child of a farmer, a child of a normal living standard, he never gets educated in the basic level in the best school. So how will he get qualified to get into the government institution, the higher level? We are feeding the cherries. We are giving a lot of cherries. But we are not giving the base. We are not giving the best base. As you rightly said just now, that saying that, okay, free education. The whole free education, we give free food, free education, free dress, free clothing. People do not want that. We want the best faculty in the whole of country in the primary education. Why not a PhD holder in LKG? Why not a fellow in Doon University or whatever on a primary school? Well, probably that is not the best idea, but this is what's happening. Why is it so? As probably the only person out of the industry.
And why I'm not worried as a teacher, as an administrator, like the higher education institution will close down. Please go to the rural area of, let's say, UP, Haryana, Rajasthan, adjoining states. My prediction is 40 to 50% private schools will close down in the next 5 years. Private schools will close down. If somebody wants to do a great job, please go and acquire them. You will get them on very inexpensive rent per month or per year and establish good schools. You don't have to invest in infrastructure. They have good buildings. You can go and teach the kids there. Every year you will find schools being sold off or being let out on rent. It's an opportunity for you. Like it happened in higher education, started happening in school education also. Ultimately, we have come to a situation where only market forces will drive the future of education. No, we can't hope anything. I've appreciated what UGC has done. I appreciate what many other boards have done. A lot of strictness is coming in schools. But 2-3 years ago, what happened in Delhi University? We had 4 years in the program. We were coming in line with the global standards. Because of whatever reason, student agitation or teachers not liking it, it was taken back. Delhi University has been taken 30 years back, if not more. 30 years back. Because what was done is the future. And we have come back to the same old system. Because students resisted, so we agreed. Policymakers, teachers, have to think of what is required for them. We say that the children should be given freedom to choose their career, but not to decide the policies of education for the country. Within that, give them all the freedom. Because they don't have the capability to think. So I think when purely academic issues become political issues or purely economic issues become political issues, this is what will happen. And politics can't be detached from education and economics in any case. They are very intertwined, I would say. So you have to live with this and then start making efforts at individual level. Some pockets of excellence, as I said, have to come up. And they're already coming out. So I'm quite optimistic about it. Anybody? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can somebody run and read? Okay, sir.
And the supply of developed individuals. If there is a mismatch here, then the country is in a problem.
That's what we are in.
Yes. So I believe, and this is something that I want to put before you, is from primary education, the focus has to be identifying the children to their development by the teachers. We are also deliberating about internet coming on the fore and taking the role of the teachers at the backstage. But I believe, and I think this is something, sir, you would like to comment on, there also needs to be a right balance there, where the teacher identifies the need of the child, and then simultaneously, I believe, what also needs to happen is development of individual critical and analytical skills. I think in our education system, we are not developing the critical thinking and analytical skills from the very beginning. And if this balance is maintained, and if this balance can come up, then I believe we will be able to really encounter the market forces in the right way, as well as supply developed individuals. What's your
I don't agree with you more. I said that we will depend on market forces because nothing seems to be happening. But this is not a desirable situation. The government has to check the market forces. I think I made it clear, but if it was not put across, I must clarify. But yes, as you said, these critical skills have to be developed. In education, we need to start, of course, continue asking what, but also ask why and how, which we don't ask. These 5 steps, learning has to be followed. Your aim, action, activity, analysis, assessment. We don't follow all the 5 steps. It's an age-old method. The multiple intelligence theory says that people learn in different ways. Why do we teach in one way? The standardization has to go from education. Every child is different, every child has different capabilities, every child has different way of learning. One professor gave me an example from IIT Roorkee. We happened to work together. And he said the maximum I learned in one of the universities in the US during his master's program is we were only 2 registered for that program, that particular course. My professor called me and said, go to library.